Hello, my name is Jose Luis Revilla. I'm Vice President of Marketing at DQuest DMO, and I hope everyone is doing great at home, office, or wherever you are right now. We at DQuest DMO, JSAV, and IVIDMC have prepared this event especially for you, and we hope you enjoy it. We thank Gran Fiesta Americana Coral Beach Resort, Cancun All-Inclusive Spa Resort for their gracious hospitality. If you are not familiar with the resort, or if you have not learned about this in the latest news, the hotel is located on Cancun's most secluded stretch of white sand beach. This award-winning resort has reimagined the guest experience and re-emerged as a luxury with no limits. All-inclusive concept, Infinity Luxury by Gran Fiesta Americana, offering the same signature cuisine and on-apparel service, only now with an abundance of guests. Experience. Thank you, Gran Fiesta Americana Coral Beach Cancun All-Inclusive Spa Resort. Today, we are thrilled to bring you our first edition of Essential Destination Quest, a virtual learning experience designed to share with you relevant information, updates, and all news about the destinations we serve, which includes Mexico, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Panama, Costa Rica, and Colombia. Today, featuring the Mexican Caribbean, we have great topics and special guests to bring you insights on most important updates and news about this amazing destination. On new technology, we also like to talk about the progress in sustainable events, and last but not least, important social causes in the Mexican Caribbean. Now, grab your coffee, wine, or favorite cocktail and get comfortable to enjoy the event. Some important housekeeping notes. We will present 4 different topics. After the last presentation, we will have 10 minutes for Q&A. The chat will be open during the presentation, so please feel free to send your questions. Now, I'd like to introduce you to our host, Executive Vice President DQuest DMO, Verónica Sarmiento. Welcome, Verónica.
Thank you, Jose Luis. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for joining us today. We feel so honored to have such great guests to talk about these important topics. They are all respected, experienced, professional, charismatic individuals recognized in the hospitality industry. And we thank them for being with us today. Before continuing, let us share with you this short video as an introduction to beautiful Caribe Mexicano or Mexican Caribbean. Video, please.
This is the Mexican Caribbean, the place where all kinds of events take on a new meaning. The place that combines 2 worlds, the breathtaking natural venues of the Caribbean and incomparable Mexican celebrations. Welcome to the destination where meetings become an exchange of knowledge, smiles, and laughter. The destination that motivates you to create successful projects inspired by its beautiful beaches, exuberant jungle, and pristine cenotes. Here you will find state-of-the-art facilities where architecture and technology mix perfectly with the ancient Mayan culture. You will hold your business meetings where you will have everything within your reach. You will feel the Mexican touch in every detail. You will participate in thrilling activities and put your skills to the test while connecting with nature to create a team with your associates. You will also attend fascinating conferences and exhibitions at the best venues in the Caribbean, enjoy impressive stagings, and experience the perfect wrap-up with a cocktail by the sea. Leave everything in the hands of the experts and get ready to enjoy this paradise where every kind of event is possible. This is where the most incredible experiences take place and where your business trip always becomes so much more than what you expected it to be. This is the Mexican Caribbean, the best of 2 worlds.
I hope you enjoyed the video just as we did. Our first guest is Dario Flota, CEO of Quintana Roo Tourism Board, to give us important updates and information about the Mexican Caribbean. Dario Flota is an engineer in industrial chemistry by the Instituto Tecnológico de Mérida and has a Master of Administrations with specialty of marketing by La Salle University. Dario Flota is the director of Cozumel and Mayan Rivera Tourism Board. This job position was already taken by him on 2005 till 2007, and taken again from 2010 to current days. He was Subsecretary of Tourism Promotion and the Tourism Secretary of State of Quintana Roo. Besides, he has been involved in educational activities such as the Director of Tourism Investigations by Instituto in La Salle University, Cancun. He was also the head of Mexican Association of Travel Agency Quintana Roo chapter and was the president of Quintana Roo Migration Advisory Board. He worked as Quintana Roo State Corporate Coordinating Consult and president of Mexico Chapter Society for Incentive Travel, SITE. Please welcome Darío Flota.
Darío, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Veronica. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great for us. So despite the current situation, Darío, we see great things happening in the Mexican Caribbean, from new hotel openings, new services, to services and protocols that are really, really useful for the visitors to feel safe in the current environment. So let's begin with the basics and tell me why to visit the Mexican Caribbean.
Well, there are many reasons to come. We have 12 great destinations, a great weather all the time, and now a very well-prepared facilities, industry, about protocols and trying to ensure that the experience of our visitors will be healthy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And now, I'm sure that our audience would like to learn more about new hotel openings in the state of Quintana Roo, and in which areas do you see most of that development going on?
Well, fortunately, we always have new hotels, new resorts coming and opening, even in this situation. Let me mention some of them, like the Nickelodeon Hotel in Puerto Morelos, the Planet Hollywood in Costa Mujeres, the SLS Hotel in Puerto Cancún, Sensira Resort in Riviera Maya, Hotel Mission Tulum, Aloft Tulum, and some openings coming, including the Live Aqua Beach in Playa del Carmen, Xcaret Arte, and also the Breathless in Tulum.
So now tell us, how about the must-see attractions and the new ones in the destinations?
Well, to visit the Mayan sites of Tulum and Cobá are, of course, a must-see. But also the theme parks, the adventure parks, are not to be missed. Visiting the Gran Costa Maya, everybody has to stay and take a picture on the beautiful Bacalar Lagoon. And to visit the beaches of like Mahahual, all what Chetumal and the surrounding areas has to offer. Also, along the state, we can mention the new museum, the Mystica Museum in Tulum. It's a multisensorial gallery in Tulum. It's an amazing experience. The Clear Boat in Cozumel. Also, we always have great restaurants in Cancun and along the states, but we have new additions like the Vicente Asador de Brasa, the third round, la tercera ronda. Ilios, a new Greek cuisine restaurant in Cancun, and a grill house, Chambao Grill House for those meat lovers. And Muyal Tulum, mixing regional favorites at the great mixology, and Las Hijas de la Tostada Beach in Playa del Carmen.
Great. So, friends, if you're thinking on new reasons to come and visit the Mexican Caribbean, you have plenty of them now, right?
That's
so,
right.
Now, Darío, can you mention the status of the flight connectivity, especially from USA and Canada to Cancun and Cozumel international airports?
Well, the air connectivity has been, since our reopening in June, one of our strategies. It's one of the key factors of the success of this reopening. Now, unfortunately, Canada canceled all the flights departing from Canada to Mexico until the end of April. But from the United States, we have very good news. We have now even more connectivity than we had before the pandemic. We have 35 different cities from the United States connected with a non-stop flight to Cancun, 8 cities flying to Cozumel, and adding the South America flights and European flights, we have now more than 55 different cities connecting to Cancun by air.
That is amazing. Such a fantastic job. Now, how are the international Cancun and Cozumel airports in regards safety protocols for its visitors?
Well, these airports they have very strict protocols implemented in all different areas. The check-in area, they have monitoring the temperature, the body temperature of all the visitors through cameras that are scanning everyone. No, even people doesn't aware that they are being screened by the cameras and checking the temperature. Also, the government is doing in selective times tests for the people arriving. So we can assure that those measures implemented at the airport assure that there are a safe experience to stay there.
That sounds really great. Now, on that same line, can you explain us about the program Mexican Caribbean Clean and Safe Check Certification, and also about the Safe Travel Program by the WTTC?
Sure. During the month of May, the State Secretary of Tourism, they were working, compiling all the information of what the World Health Organization was issuing, and some other association, to create our local certification, this clean and safe certification. We have more than 250 criteria that applies for different segments like transportation, hotels, restaurants, museums. And that's, the objective is to reduce the risk of a contagious in the contact of the visitors and the workers. So these protocols were so well prepared that were recognized by WTTC, the World Travel and Tourism Council, and that's why the Mexican Caribbean was included in the first list of 5 destinations in the world recognized with the Safe Travel stamp.
That is fantastic. So now, how is Quintana Roo supporting its visitors to get the access to the negative COVID tests for them to be able to return to their countries?
Well, for United States, it's required now for everyone checking in a flight to United States, negative antigen, negative test of COVID. We receive every day in this season about between 13 to 15,000 people from United States every day.
Wow.
So that's the size of the challenge. And fortunately, almost 70% of the hotels in the state are offering the test in their own locations, in their own hotels. So people doesn't need to leave or to go to another facility. They are making the test in the hotel. So there has been no problem. And even the airport, for those who couldn't make the test in the hotel, they can take it in the airport.
Such a great job by all the players in the hospitality industry in the Mexican Caribbean.
Let me tell you one number. Since our reopening in June to the end of January, we have received more than 4 million passengers. And even that, with that big number, we in the state of Quintana Roo, we have less than 1% of the positive cases that the whole country has. So that proved the effectiveness of the protocols and the strict way to assure we are taking care of our visitors.
Absolutely. So friends, please, you can rest assured that you will be really, really good taken care of in the Mexican Caribbean. So now, Dario, is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience?
Well, now we are living, the situation is always changing very quickly. So I just can invite to visit our website, MexicanCaribbean.travel, to see the updated information and to get in love to plan the next trip for the next holiday for our visitors.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dario. So great and useful information for those that are planning to come personally or bring their programs to the Mexican Caribbean. As you see, friends, we're ready here. Thank you, Dario.
Thank you.
Well, the second topic we have for you today is technology. Our guests will share with us information about new technologies in Cancun, Riviera Maya, and the Mexican Caribbean. in areas and events of production such as JSAV and Doctor. From JSAV is joining us Hudson Barnes, president of JSAV. His adventure started with JSAV in 1989, during which he has held just about every operational and managerial position that you can think of, from driver to president of the Mexican and Caribbean operations. He understands the business and what it takes to drive and survive in this industry. His passion for being creative and his drive to exceed clients' expectations has helped JSAV to create a niche for themselves in the Mexican marketplace. Please welcome Hudson Barnes.
Hello.
Hudson, thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
See you.
Great to see you too. So Hudson, nowadays everybody is talking about hybrid events.
Oh, yeah.
But just a few of us know what really is behind, what is the technology needed to make this type of events happen. So let's start by asking you, which are those technological steps that we need?
Well, yeah, of course. Well, first off, it starts with about 1,000 questions. So, but it's really finding out from the client what their objective is. And so, you know, the first question, for example, is this going to be, you know, a straight up broadcast, or is there going to be interaction going on? You know, who are the presenters? Where are they going to be presenting from? Because, you know, we're going to have multiple studios set up in different locations and whatnot. So, of course, we're always going to have cameras in this, but is it going to be from the computer, or is it going to be, you know, audience cameras and whatnot? Mm-hmm. So, you know, PowerPoint keynote, we're going to have video playback, voting, interactive games, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of things, you know, a lot of questions that we need to come through and find out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But, you know, are we going to be, you know, getting video on demand? Mm-hmm. So questions like this is what we're going to go through.
Absolutely. So on that, are all the, how can streaming be applied? Are all the streaming platforms the same? Are all of them good for every type of event?
Well, yeah, webinars are very popular. We're really looking for information, informative speeches, product launches, live broadcast. So, for example, we did an event for about 3,000 people with the Riviera Jazz Fest. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's really, we need the people to be engaged and making sure that the, you know, the talent and the audience is connected. So we can also do Q&A chats and whatnot.
Definitely. Explain us, are some of those platforms more sophisticated than others?
Well, of course, they're all very good. But let's first talk about the difference between webinars and streaming and what's involved in streaming. So to put it simple, streaming is simply capture, encode, and go live. Webinar is more interactive, better with small groups, Q&A, and more personal, but can also be used for large audiences as well. And then streaming, think of streaming as more of a broadcast where only the participating as an audience members, you know, not really a speaker, so to speak. But again, chats can be integrated as well. Mm-hmm. So in a webinar, a lot of times we'll use Zoom, Skype, GoToMeetings, Google Meet, etc. But with the streaming, it's more common to kind of use Vimeo, Ustream, StreamShark, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, et cetera, et cetera. So just you got to be very careful with the music rights when doing streaming because they'll take you down. So, but one-to-one multiple, one-to-multiple is streaming, you know, Zoom more controllable with your audience, where webinar and multiple interaction, chats, video, and voice.
I see.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, I mean, with all that you are explaining us right now, I think it's so important to have a professional support with all that production like your company.
Yeah.
So now changing a little bit the subject, talking about hybrid events, but now let's move to virtual convention center. How does it work? Which are its advantages?
So the virtual convention center is really the perfect tool for a hybrid event. It gives us registration options, live event sections, and chat rooms. We can also include polls, voting, games, etc. The landing page takes us straight to the lobby where you can move around 360 like a first-person video game. And of course, we can have branding opportunities outside as well. But as we entered the lobby in the video that you're watching on screen, there's an interactive menu which has a lot of options to take us into different areas. And those areas could include branding opportunities with interactive links. They could also, or we could go directly to a general session. We can go to an unlimited amount of breakout rooms. We can go into a cafe or a chat room. And of course, we can also go into a exhibit hall. So as we go into these, within the exhibits, we also have interactive menus and live chats and one-on-one sessions. So all in all, it's a very flexible and complete solution that can be customized to every customer's needs.
I see. I mean, this type of alternative really, with this type of alternative, I mean, there is no need to not continue to do these great events to keep your employees, your team engaged, having the support of companies like yours, Hudson. Thank you so much for bringing our audience clarity on this important matter. I am sure that now with this conversation, they are able to guide even better to their own clients.
Well, we certainly hope so. So
great to have you with us, Hudson.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Also joining us in this section about technology, there's Alma Avila, Commercial Director at Doctur. She's a dynamic hospitality professional with international experience in executive positions in hotel operation, sales, marketing, revenue management, and coaching and training. She has had an outstanding achievement along 30 years of professional career. She has also dedicated her experience to support the growth of hotel chains, as well as to strengthen the marketing and logistic areas in destination management and software design companies. In the last year, she has been teaching rooms divisions operations, selling techniques, and revenue management to international university students. Welcome, Alma.
Alma, welcome. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for the opportunity, Veronica.
Thank
it's a pleasure.
you. Great to see you again. So it seems that the Jetsons era has finally reached us, when talking about technology progress. In this current environment conditions, many improvements have paced even much faster than what we could have ever imagined or thought. And I think this is the case of the medical virtual services. So tell us about the concept of telemedicine, Alma.
Well, basically, telemedicine allows doctors and healthcare professionals to evaluate, diagnose, and treat patients at a distance using telecommunications technology. Nowadays, with the current situations in the world, telemedicine has become extremely important for travelers because, for example, when you are thinking on your next vacation or your next business trip, you want to have a worry-free journey full of those experiences and memorable times you are expecting to have. Absolutely no one travels wishing to get sick or thinking to have an accident. But if this happens, we got your back. Doctor will be there. And when you expect to feel safe and to have immediate, good quality medical care. Unlike traditional medical consultation, telemedicine has proven to be very accessible, cost-effective, and capable of increasing patient participation. At Doctur, we have developed many different options suitable for travelers as well as for hospitality and tourism businesses.
Definitely. Now, Alma, please share with our audience about your company, Doctur.
Well, Doctors Founders are doctors and entrepreneurs that since 2018 have been providing telemedicine services via video calls or chats to a large number of travelers that have gone to Mexico in search for a sunny vacation or for business purposes. Having realized that the remote care was very well received by the patients, alleviating their concerns in a fast and innovative way, our founders decided to create this cutting-edge innovative telemedicine technology aimed to assist travelers whenever they have health issues during their stays in Mexico, even since they are at the airport of origin or while they are participating in outdoor activities or excursions. Doctor is very easily accessible from any device with an internet connection, and our bilingual doctors are able to treat multiple health issues, such as respiratory and gastric diseases, skin problems related to sun exposure, and other tropical environment-related problems as well. A lot of these problems can be solved remotely, just reducing our patients' commuting and waiting time. Whenever a more thorough assessment is needed, our doctors and nurses can commute for hotel or for home consultations, as well as to carry out minor procedures.
Absolutely. Now, which are the most common and main services provided by Doctor?
Well, we can provide, first of all, medical orientation, which is a chat or talk with the doctor's assistant in order to get help on our services, as well as general health topics. Of course, our core business is a teleconsultation, where our patients access our platforms in order to get medical advice, as well as any recommendations and advice for a speedy recovery, including a prescription whenever it's needed, issued right there in the platform for over-the-counter medications or antibiotics. We also provide on-site services. Whenever our patients are in the need to see a doctor or a nurse in person, they can go for a house call for primary care and carrying out minor procedures such as wound cleansing, wound sutures, nebulizers, IV solutions, etc. So our clients, our travelers, may access our services from one, on-demand services in which they pay for every consultation, teleconsultation, or service requested, or two, they may buy a basic membership in which they will be entitled to have unlimited teleconsultations plus great discounts in all the additional services, or three, they can buy our premium membership where they will have all these teleconsultation, unlimited teleconsultations, and almost all the additional services already included in that membership.
That is fantastic, Alma. So are your services available in the Mexican Caribbean? And can our friends, our meeting planners and clients, can they contract and get this service for an entire group program right now for all the participants?
By all means. Doctor can assist virtually any patient calling from anywhere. But due to the fact that we also provide on-site services, and whenever our patients need to see a doctor in person, we are currently serving all the Mexican Caribbean, Los Cabos, Puerto Vallarta, Acapulco, Ixtapas y Guatanejo, Mérida, Mexico City, Guadalajara, and Monterrey. And very, very soon, we will be serving also more important national and international destinations.
Alma, thank you so much. This is really useful information for our clients, not only to provide this added value to them, but also peace of mind while traveling.
Absolutely. Thank you for this opportunity, Veronica, and thank you to our audience for joining us today.
Thank you.
Our third topic today is about sustainable events. Our guest will share with us important practices, recommendations, examples of what has been done or can be done in the Mexican Caribbean to really take a better care of nature and our communities. As we have learned, especially during this past year, we all need to do a much better job on that important aspect. Our guests are Paola Rubio, founder and director of Chameleon Sustainable Consultancy, and Raquel Mijares. Now, about Paola. With over 12 years of experience in sustainable development of tourism industry, Paola is a professional in her field and graduated as a biologist on the Guadalajara University. After working on implementing sustainable development systems and certifications for several hotels and resorts, she founded the company Chameleon Sustainable Consulting, a firm to provide sustainable coaching and advisory for hotels and other companies developing community and environment high impact, long-term solutions, and coordinating sustainable events and the unique experience of the MICE sector. And also Raquel Mijares, Vice President of Marketing at IVI-DMC Enterprises, and 2021 Vice President of Marketing for SITE Mexico Chapter. She studied hotel management and is now the VP of Marketing in IVI-DMC Enterprises. She has been in the company for 13 years and has become an expert on marketing and sales strategies for our amazing destination. She is a part of SITE and this year responsible for marketing in the SITE Mexico Chapter board. Please welcome Paola Rubio and Raquel Mijares.
Paola, Raquel, thank you so much for joining us today. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you, Veronica. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
It's an honor.
Thank you, Paola. So now more than ever, it's so important to care and act for our planet, to make sure that we leave a better place for the future generations. We as hospitality players, we need to have a voice and act accordingly to make that happen. So, Paola, you mentioned me in a previous meeting that a sustainable event is that one that is designed, organized, and implemented in a way that minimizes the negative impact, but also bring a benefit to the host community. So let's begin with that. For our audience to understand, are green meetings and sustainable events relating to the same concept?
Well, in this regard, it's very interesting to remember that all sustainability-related issues have been addressed first as a green or only environmental topic. We tend to think sustainability just refers to the trees or the green or the green part of things, but we fail to see the importance of people and economic interactions. However, we now know in order to create real lasting changes, it is necessary to understand the big picture and what sustainability comprises.
Absolutely. So on that, what elements are needed in order to consider an event a sustainable one?
A sustainable meeting or event goes way beyond just recycling. I mean, we need to have a management system that allows us to analyze every aspect of the operations, since transportation, waste management, footprint, carbon, water footprint, venues, menus, decoration, I mean, everything, amenities. And for me, the most important one is the experiences we create.
Definitely, and I think that's such an important point. For us and for our clients, it's all about creating experiences. So what kind of experiences can be part of a sustainable event?
Yeah, attendee experiences may include volunteering or CSR projects, creative CSR projects. I believe it's very important for these activities to be aligned with the organization's own CSR programs and core values. I mean, a sunscreen brand may want to prefer working in a reef restoration protection, or a telecommunication program company might want to benefit a local community into improving connectivity. So one-of-a-kind experiences create awareness, lasting memories, and real changes on the participants' perception on global problems and how can they address them in a local way. This is what we look for in our unique experiences, to go beyond just philanthropy and transform the life of both the participants but also the host communities.
Definitely, and it is so important. Now, can you share with our audience now 3 great examples of experiential events that you had designed?
Of course, you know, I love every one of them, but I have to say my favorite ones are Saving the Reef. in which we joined effort with a local team of scientists who designed a methodology for reproducing coral, and therefore they make an awesome job restoring the Mesoamerican reef. So for this particular experience, participants made almost 1,000 new homes for the coral bases, which were actually branded with the company name. And then we planted a coral colony, and we donated them to Océanos AC. The second one would have to be Building Brighter Futures. This was a very emotional experience for the members of a high luxury vacation club, in which we went to a local school and we made several projects to improve the quality of life of the families surrounding this community through nutrition. Because it's especially important for this foundation, as children that go to a school in this place, they would only have one meal a day, and this would be in this school. So if you can imagine, this is very, very important. And so we went with this group, and we built 8 sets of benches and tables for the children to have their meals there. We planted a few fruit trees, and we also built an organic orchard, so they can have herbs and some other food items. And the final one, the third one, is called Connecting the World. So this was for a client that has a telecommunications company. So we linked them to a rural community, and they needed a Wi-Fi antenna to improve the education in the local school. And there are some other projects that they have inside the community. So in general, also, it brought a lot of benefits for the people that live there to be connected with the outside world, so they can attend emergencies or, just to be connected. So I think these 3 programs are my favorite ones.
That is so fantastic and meaningful for the communities. Yeah. So now, Raquel, as VP of Marketing for SITE Chapter Mexico, can you share with our audience how involved is SITE with the Mexican Caribbean on creating precisely this type of experiences?
Yes, thank you, Veronica. Well, actually, we just had our first SITE Mexico board meeting here at the Grand Fiesta Americana Coral Beach last weekend. And we work in our annual strategic plan for 2021, which includes several initiatives to give back to the community. One of them, for example, we are donating supplies. We are donating groceries for the for an organization next month, and we are also donating prescription lenses for the children. This is a program for April 30, which is Children's Day. And then for the summer, we are donating school supplies. We are still working on other initiatives for the second semester. And I forgot to mention, we are also planning something special for Earth Day, which is April 22nd. More details to come on that activity. It is very important to mention that we are not only at SITE Mexico doing these activities in the Mexican Caribbean. We are also planning to replicate them in other cities in Mexico.
That is fantastic, Raquel. So now what is the goal of SITE Mexico chapter on sustainable events?
Well, our SITE Mexico chapter board is fully committed to promoting this, the implementation of sustainable practices. When planning our chapter events, there are different sustainable elements that we have to consider according to SITE Global Excellence Guidelines. In fact, this year, as Mexico chapter, we will apply for the new SITE certification on sustainability, which was just launched last year. And this is one of our main goals as a chapter for this year.
That is fantastic, Raquel. Now, as a VP of Marketing at IBI DMC Enterprises, how do you and your team promote sustainable events?
Well, IBI DMC has a foundation called Amigos of the Planet, which is a non-profit organization that seeks to inspire international charitable giving with an emphasis in Mexico and Latin America. Through our corporate social responsibility program, we offer different activities for our clients that consist on training, team building, and community service. This is always to favor our local communities. We work in hand with the support of our foundation. with local organizations like Paola's company, for example. We have done many projects with her, and local foundations in each destination to offer the flexibility to our clients depending on the needs of the program, the timetable, the budget, and the group size. We can plan an activity either at the hotel or in a local community, which for me is the most rewarding experience when you get to go to the community and see the impact that your activity is delivering.
Absolutely. Raquel and Paula, thank you so much for sharing these beautiful and great practices that I'm sure they leave a print, not only in the community, but also in the hearts of each one of those communities. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Veronica.
Our last but not least important topic is the Mexican Caribbean, caused by the Foundation Amigos of the Planet. The foundation is based on three main pillars: the environment, education, and health. Our guest for this important topic has been in the hospitality industry for nearly 27 years in Mexico, with a career in business management, marketing, currently serving as private and public advisor in tourism, giving consultancy in hospitality industry, business and marketing strategies, hospitality product ambassador, public relations, communication, organizational development, and well, she is the vice president of SCAL Mexico since January 2019 to date. She was elected 2021 vice president for AFIT Quintana Roo and recently appointed as president of Amigos of the Planet Foundation. She needed to travel to France on sensitive personal matters, and unfortunately, her flight to return to Cancun was canceled due to travel restrictions in Paris. So virtually, please welcome Dr. Jane Garcia.
Jane, thank you so much for joining us today.
Many thanks. A pleasure to be with you all today, even though I'm a little bit far away, but thank you for having me with you.
There is so much that can be done to help the communities in the Mexican Caribbean, Jane. Today, we will focus on the foundation you preside, Amigos of the Planet, which main purpose is dignifying people. So how is the foundation honoring its purpose?
Well, the foundation has been present for a few years, but obviously we want to make it bigger and better and stronger. The three main points is obviously education, health, and environment. And with that being said, obviously there's many things that we do with that is important. As we know, Mexico in this part of the Caribbean, we have a big peninsula, which is Yucatan, and Quintana Roo has many communities in which we have youngsters, adults, more elderly people that need help in terms of how to betterify their education. With that being said as well, many things can be done with interaction with things to do with planet sustainability. And with that, of course, we have as well health that is involved too, how we can teach them to be better knowing how to be able to do certain things in terms of health-wise, whether it's how to eat, how to understand certain things in nature, how to understand maybe a bit more about our Caribbean Sea, for example, which we have, of course, after Australia, with the second biggest coral reef in the world. I think we have many things that we can help and teach people, and plus help them with their different issues that they better understand with planets. And of course, with that, within the foundation, these are the main three things that we do, and we work with accordingly with people on a day-to-day basis.
So for your comments, Jane, I understand the foundation is already supporting its main pillars in the Mexican Caribbean?
That is correct. There's different projects that have been established with certain communities. And as we know, we have a lot of people that have a lot of help in terms of being able to be part of these communities in such a way that they have hands to be able to do things. For example, one of the projects I think that many people maybe are not aware of, we have a big quantity of bees, and bees, of course, turns into be not just doing honey, but as well we can do many other things too with soaps that is based out of honey. We have a lot of good products that have come out of richness of our own nature in itself. And of course, with that, that can be something that we can as well support these little communities or bigger communities to be able to help with them to be able to take that type of product and put it onto the market And that can be a good source as well for people who are coming to the Mexican Caribbean for their groups, conventions, use that as part of their welcome packages and all that too.
Thank you, Jane. We have great examples of what the foundation has already been done in the Mexican Caribbean. Congratulations for that. So you have been in our country for many years, and also you have been actively involved, in particular in the Mexican Caribbean over the last years, working with Benito Juárez municipality, better known as Cancun, as a head in tourism. Please share with our audience some of the most relevant causes that you were involved with.
Well, yes, I think that, as you know, Cancun is basically the diamond part of tourism for what is Quintana Roo and what is for Mexico. But what's important to say is that some of the things that have or had been done and are still ongoing and still part of, I still continue working with hand in hand is, of course, the youngsters in the travel business industry, which is basically the exploitation of commercial sexuality of small children in the vacation world. I know it's not a topic that many people like to hear or discuss, but we do know that we have to say a lot of the hoteliers have formed part of what is ECPAT and the code. The code is over, and it's an organization worldwide, which of course with that helps to educate, helps to work with hand in hand with hotels, with transportation, anybody to do anything with the tourism industry, so that they can be aware of such things that sometimes do happen, do occur in our destination. And basically with that is to basically make aware people how to handle if they do see any particular situation. Prominent to that because of the fact that, we're a high number place in such as Cancun and Riviera Maya, and everything that we have in Quintana Roo, and such as a tourism industry. As we know, we only live on tourism, and it's important to make the awareness known accordingly. So obviously, there's an education level that is given to the hotels and to different people in part, so that they can be aware of it. And obviously, with that, you get a certification. But it's basically bringing it forward to people to be aware that we do, and we are part of that type of thing in order to help. Because obviously it's an important factor that is happening, not just in Mexico, but around the world and such. And of course, that is basically one thing that I did manage to do when I was back as the general director in tourism industry a few years ago.
Thank you, Jane. This is such a sensitive matter, and it is so important to keep that proactivity that you are working with the teams in order to prevent such a sensitive situation. So now, how can our audience get familiar or get more familiar with your causes and the causes of Amigos of the Planet, and how can they support when they are designing a program to the Mexican Caribbean?
Well, there's so many help that is needed, and I think that all the different clients that have travelers coming to the destination, whether it's Cancun, Riviera Maya, or maybe other parts of Mexico, there's definitely key points that we have to, and we can work with, whether it's helping a school to renovate certain things, which could be under education, or whether it's working in a certain community type of project as well that can be done. There's small communities close by Cancun, for example, and many other parts as well of the peninsula, that obviously communities have become part of the last years or so of people, families starting to establish themselves because of the fact that, they're looking for obviously ground to be able to start creating a small pueblito, as one would say, and maybe they start the foundations, and obviously their foundations are not houses and such. They're obviously many times are just done with pieces of wood and a few blocks, or if not a few blocks, maybe they have just certain material to basically put on their roof. And obviously, if a hurricane comes or a bad storm or rain, that's not obviously the most appropriate way of living. So there's many people that do need help in many ways, and these small communities do start out sometimes with just a few families or a few people, and they start growing and growing massively. And of course, you obviously, if you have children, youngsters, you need to put a school in. There's so many things that can be done and needed. I think what's important is that anybody who's planning a possible trip to the Mexican Caribbean or other parts of Mexico or other parts of in the Caribbean as well, we're in Colombia, Dominican Republic, is always help, always needed, and always welcome. And I think that between education, environment, health, we would always find something that can be in commune, something that can be part of one being part of helping. We can do as well different exercises as well by taking different groups of people, one doing one thing, maybe doing a repainting of such thing in one school, maybe another group can do another type of project as well in such, whether it's donation with food, whether it's clothing, whether it's maybe some people as well like to do as well a donation on a month-to-month basis. When we have different opportunities that people can help, the help is always needed and is always wanted. And I think that's what's important, that there is, and we want always people to help and support, and we can be part of it by doing it together. And obviously the opportunity is on the table to what one wants to do and how we can help and do it all together.
Absolutely. Jane, is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience?
By all means, I think it's just important that our commitment is maintained by helping and supporting and increasing these opportunities for youngsters and adults, and for them to have a better education, more awareness to health, and of course, a better understanding of the environment and sustainability, which is part of the foundation. Many thanks.
Thank you so much for being part of this event and sharing all these meaningful ways to leave a positive impact in our communities and their hearts. Thank you, Jane.
Muchas gracias. Thank you. And we always will be welcoming any help possible that can be part of this. Many to do and much to do. And without people to be able to help, obviously we cannot make it a better foundation and a bigger foundation, which I know will become bigger and stronger, and that's thanks to many people who are out there. Thank you.
Well, thanks for joining us here in stage. Now we will open a Q&As. We will read some questions our followers have been making. So first of all, give us some tips to make an impacting hybrid event.
That one is for Hudson.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to make sure that your audience is engaged. And a lot of times what we'll do is we'll put an MC into the event, do a lot of interactive questions and answers for different segments of the audience, whether it's some of the staff at the hotels or the audience members and whatnot. We also encourage a lot of people to, if they're going to have a reception or something, maybe interview the chef, maybe, the cocktail that's being passed around, show them how it's done, have some sort of entertainment, present. So there's a lot of different ways to do it, but I think it's really the most important thing is to make sure your audience is engaged.
Perfect. Well, now, next question. What kind of internet capacity do you need for a hybrid event?
I think that one's for me again.
That's for you.
It's pretty simple. 30 megabytes is an absolute bare minimum. But 100 is preferred, and it's always preferred to have a backup. So 200 megabyte feeds, feeding differently, separately, would be the ideal. But 30 is the minimum.
Perfect. Well, now, destination, which is the largest capacity with compliance to protocols currently in Cancun?
Well, according to the current protocols, the capacity, the events can be organized in closed spaces at the 30% of the normal capacity and in open spaces until 50%. Fortunately, we have plenty of places in resorts with gardens, terraces, roofs, where they can organize events with a 50% of the capacity.
Okay, perfect. Now, next question. Which are the main USA cities traveling to Cancun currently?
I think that one is also for you, Dario.
I didn't hear the question.
which are the main USA cities traveling currently to Cancún?
Principales ciudades de Estados Unidos.
¿Qué ciudades? Well, they're from all over the country, mostly from the East Coast. We can mention Chicago, Philadelphia, New York, Washington, D.C., but also Seattle, San Francisco, San Diego, Los Angeles, Austin, Houston, Dallas, Tampa, Orlando, Miami. So there are some of the most important cities.
From all over, basically,
Yes.
right?
Okay, thank you. Now, next question, this is for Doctor. Is Doctor also providing support for COVID tests?
Yes, absolutely. We are actually providing those tests to many clients. Both PCR and antigen tests are being applied to our customers and general public along the Mexican Caribbean destinations.
Okay, thank you. Now, Chameleon, how safe is work on social causes in the community?
Thank you. This is actually part of what we do. We work with the communities. We prepare them whenever it's needed to receive visitors. So I believe it's very safe. We have developed with them hygiene protocols to allow this. But also, and most important, we can also take these projects to the different hotels or different venues and locations as the client needs. So it's not necessary for them to move if they don't feel safe yet, but we can actually go to them.
Perfect, thank you. Well, that was all the questions. It's 2 o'clock, and in respect on your time, we will need to finish our event. However, any question can be accepted in the chat, and we will stay here some minutes to answer some of them.
Opportunity to share our event with you. We hope that you have enjoyed this event. Thank you so much to all our friends here, our special speakers. Thank you to JSAV, to the hotel, to the Grand Fiesta Americana Cancun All-Inclusive Resort Hotel, and to all of you for joining us. Thank you, and until next time.